Hello everyone, welcome back. So we're at part 2 of my 1591 restoration. In the first video, you saw me take out the light, which is not that one, and the controller, and take the machine out of the cabinet, okay? The light that was on there was a replacement. I was going back and forth with Howard from over at Cabot Bluegill, and he was showing me some lights because that's a Canadian 1591. And I'm not sure that this light I have right here is even the right light. But in between that video and this video, I acquired another 1591 made in the USA, which in the pictures looked pretty pristine until I got it back here and started checking it out. And let's just say it had a little Chernobyl incident. We'll get to that in another video. But I took the light off and I restored the light. That's my painting job. You know, from 10 feet away, that looks pretty awesome. But I restored the whole light. I videotaped it. And after I put it all together, there was the same issue I had when I first tried it, which was when you turn the switch, if you moved it, it went off. So I determined that the connector was bad, the contact, and I had tried to fix the contact, and that didn't work. Then I made a new contact, and as much as I was saying in the video, make sure you take a picture of it so you know how to put it in right and blah, 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 blah. I put it in wrong, so I kept messing with it and ruined that one. So I was about, I don't know, an hour worth of video on a stinking light. So I ended up making a new contact. Like I said, cleaned it up. It's got the blue glass, came out really nice. I'm very happy with it. Let me show you how it looks. I have here my over-engineered test terminal. I had to do a modification on it. If you saw the video on this, I had wing nuts. I had to get rid of the studs that were in here because they were too big. None of the connectors on the Singer stuff fit on the old ones, so I had to put new ones in. Let me show you how this works. What side is the rib side? That's this one. You put your connections on. I like these little knurled thumb screws better than the wing nuts anyway. Alright, set that aside. Plug her in. And let there be light. See, before, when I would wiggle this, the light would go out. Now it's staying on. So we're golden. Alright, I'm going to have a link in the description to a gentleman named Bob Fowler. And Bob has a video of him doing exactly what I did to this because I watched him and I did it. So you're going to be hearing his name a lot on these 1591s because he is just awesome. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to work on this controller. Okay, this controller, like I showed you in the first video, was mounted on the side of the cabinet and wired directly to the 3-pin terminal block versus the connector and then getting plugged into the wall. And I said I want to make a longer wire so that in case I want to not use the knee controller, because I never used one and maybe I might not like it. And then I don't want to have to take it all out and rewire it again. So I'm going to make a long enough wire that I can coil it up on the inside. And if I want to, take it out and put it on the floor. All right, let's get this thing apart. So we got 4 screws on the bottom. All right, I won't bore you watching me do that. I'll bring it right back. All right, we got the 4 screws out. We got some nasties over here. I don't know what that is. If it's oil or something, probably oil. Oh, I forgot to mention, what I made the new contacts out of was, if you see this little strip, that's a piece I had left over. They were just pieces out of this old lantern that was pretty messed up. And I yanked them out and cut them, because they actually are like a nickel-plated copper. Because you want to use something that has spring to it, but it's not too soft, and you want to be able to solder it. So that worked out great for me. Like an old-fashioned flashlight would work. All right, so now I've seen Bob just turn this over and it came apart, and I've seen another guy had to spend 15-20 minutes prying it out. So we'll do this little wedgie thing first and see, before I start sticking a screwdriver in there and messing up the bakelite. There you go. Alright, so that came out like Bob's did. Okay, if you take, let's see which way that goes. Okay, if you take one of these apart and there's a capacitor in there, you could get rid of the capacitor. Okay, from what I'm reading, the capacitor was put in there to stop interference with the old television, tube televisions, but you don't need it to function. Okay, so obviously make sure you have this unplugged, and we don't even have a plug on it. Okay, so this is how it works, and there's an adjustment here. See this screw right here, and from what I gather, you want about 1/8 of an inch of this is ceramic from the end, and make sure this nut here is tight, which it is, and basically that's it. There's a bunch of carbon, here we got some oil on here, there's carbon discs all along the sides. You could look it up if you want to get more detail, but right now all I'm concerned with is putting a longer cord in and cleaning it up a little bit. And they sell kits. I think the Singer Featherweight shop online. So this is going to be pretty simple. Alright, we're going to take these screws out. Let's notice what sides we got. Alright, so this is the ribbed side. So that's going to be our neutral. Let's just put a little plus here. And then this will be the hot side. Take this out. Way easier than messing with the lights. Okay, so we got that out. Then we have, now from all the places I've been watching and looking up and reading and blah 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 blah, everyone's saying to use an 18 gauge wire. Now if you look at this wire, it's so much bigger. Okay, I'm gonna guess this probably might be a 16 or a 14, but man, everyone's saying a 14 gauge wire is all you need. So what I want to see is how this, I don't need that in there for now, how this is gonna fit here. Yeah, see that? So that wants to just come right out. So I want to make something to make this wire a little thicker over here. So give me a few seconds, let me think about that. Alright, so I have a bunch of heat shrink tubes, and I got 3 sizes on there, and let's see if they'll all go down at the same time. I really should be using a heat gun, but I don't have one available at the moment. Nice. Oh yeah, that's on there. Let's see how that looks. Maybe another little piece. I kind of wanted to crunch on it a little bit. Let's get this and see. Nice. Very nice. I think I'll put one more little tiny piece. And that's going to be nice and firm. I want this one, man, I'm working off a camera, aren't I? I want this one to kind of go down in the front. Look at that, huh? Very cool. Alright, I'm digging that. Now, we're going to want to strip this wire back. I had pulled out a couple terminals. Let's see if they fit. They do. And this has, it's bent up, if you could see that. So once you put those terminals down, it kind of locks in. The correct way to do it is to be, once you put the wire in here, you could crimp it, but the most secure way is going to be to solder it. So let me set up my soldering iron, and we'll get this, here, where are these wires? I just use my wire strippers, and these are cool because they tell you what gauge to do. So we'll just strip off the end here. And they'll go in here. Alright, we'll put a little crimp and then solder it. Okay, I'll do that to the other one, and I'll bring you back. All right. So now all we're going to do is get our soldering iron, start to heat this up. And it'll wick right down in there. Just push it in. Don't go crazy. If you could see that, the solder's all the way down in there, and that'll never come off. Well, unless you want it to. Let me show you that again. Okay. If you noticed, there was a blob on there, right? And then I left the heat on, and then it just, that blob just kind of got sucked in. It's the same principle when you're sweating pipes. All right, we'll let that cool, and we'll connect it up. All right, it's cooled off. While it was cooling off, I cleaned all these. There's all kinds of oil or grease or something on there. Well, guess what? It left them soft, so we don't have to replace them. All right, so we're going to put our rib side on here. And our neutral on here. It's as easy as that. Now, oh yeah, like I said, check for the adjustment there. I wiped a little bit of oil on here, and actually I wiped it off. Let me just put another drop right here. Keep that lubricated. Matter of fact, when I push this down, I want to put a little right in there. There you go. All right. Now we want to make sure this button is in the right way. Looks like it only goes in one way, which is that way. And we're going to kind of want to maneuver these wires up here. So when this is in here, these will fall right down there. I think that'll do it. Let's push it. Oh, it's pretty thick. Wow, maybe I put too much. I thought I tested this. There you go. Yeah. I know I wanted it tight, but I wanted to be able to get it in there too. Okay. Let's do it this way. Let's make sure our wires look good down there. Good. Nice. I like that. All right. Oh, crud. I forgot to put the feet back on. All right. It's easier to do this upside down so the button doesn't fall out. Nice. Nice, Captain, nice. Put these screws back. Like anything that has multiple screws, and like on your tires with the lug nuts, get them all started before you start cranking down on anything, because you want an even torque all along the whole object. If you start cranking down on a screw or a lug, you could throw off the balance of how it's sitting, and you could actually crack things. Then just go around. Technically you should go diagonally, but that's okay. So in other words, you'd go from that screw to this screw, and then you can go to that screw to that screw. And again, don't go crazy, just snug them up. All right. And when you want to clean one of these, I found out, hold on, I have it over here. I found out Brasso, which is a metal polish, which I probably had this for, oh my gosh, I have no idea how long, but it was only $2.89. It's probably $14 million now. But I was reading, and you can use this, or you can use semi-chrome, and I happen to have this, and they said it works great on Bakelite, which is what I use to clean the light fixture. So you basically just take it, rub it on, look at that. See that shine on there? All right, so I could do the rest of that off camera, but so there you have it. A rewired foot controller with an extra long, I'll do the other ends, the terminal ends, when I actually get everything on the machine, so I get it exactly right. But now I'll be able to use the knee controller, and I'll be able to take it out and use it as a foot controller. And then we have our light that's going to go on there, my awesome paint job. So this will be relatively quick. I have no idea what I'm going to do next, but when part 3 comes, you'll find out. So I'm going to say it. I'm sending you all much, much love and appreciation, my brothers and sisters. I want to thank you for coming along. I hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you on the next one.